morning and welcome to SWBC, Smart Wales Business Channel, here at the studios of the Media Suite at the Bay Campus of Swansea Bay University. And welcome, Sian. Now, this episode is in collaboration with Introbiz Swansea and West Wales and the Media Suite. And we're very excited to welcome Sian, who is our first rising star to be interviewed today. Now, Sian is a Welsh-born, born and bred entrepreneur who has overcome so much in her young life to be seated here today as a business owner. Sian, last year was a big year for you.
Yes, very, very, very big year. So we got married and launched the cosmetic clinic. So yes, very, very stressful.
One of them is enough, isn't it? Getting married, a wedding is an incredible venture. And then to launch a new business.
Yeah.
But it didn't just happen overnight, no, did it, Sian?
Oh, gosh,
There was a journey, wasn't it?
Yes.
But before we get into it, tell us about where you are now. Let's celebrate your achievements.
Okay, so we launched the cosmetic clinic. It's a rundown chapel in Gosainen that me and my husband were renovated for about 18 months. Yes. And it's not just a cosmetic clinic, it's a spa and a wellbeing centre as well, yes. Where we've got some spa therapists and we work alongside some really professional medical professionals that we bring from all around the country. And we combine inner wellbeing and cosmetics all in one place, really.
So in terms of your staff, how big is your staff?
We currently have 5 members of staff employed, spa therapists and receptionists, and then we've got about 7 or 8 subcontractors, ranging from wellbeing instructors, right. Doctors, often Botox and fillers, nurses, and yeah.
And from what I hear, you work with some doctors that are working at a very high level across the nation, aren't you?
Yeah. One of my goals was to really increase the level of the standard of cosmetics being offered in Swansea. Yeah. Doing my permanent makeup, I work all around the world, and I knew the standard that was out there, and yes. I sort of wanted to bring that to Swansea. So my mission was to find some high-end doctors and raise the standard in Swansea.
Right. So you said that your husband renovated and it took you about 18 months, that project. Yeah. So it wasn't a small project, was it?
No.
So how large is your premises?
Yeah, it's a pretty big chapel. Yes. I think 900 square feet. I think is the size of the land as well. Yes. And we added an extension on the back, and we put a huge second floor in. So there's 10 treatment rooms altogether.
Yes.
With they're all medically graded, so they're all medical standards that have all been passed by Health Inspectorate Wales, and they are the governing body that make sure that they accredit all the medical clinics and dentists and hospitals. So to be accredited by them was really difficult and
a great achievement.
Yeah, something I'm proud of. Yeah.
Yes, and I am happy to say that I've been to your premises. So I know you're not telling us about everything, the flotation. Yeah. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I wanted to do something different. So there's a lot of spas around, and yes. This flotation therapy has been proven to help with stress and pain management and all the rest of it. So we've got flotation therapy tanks, we've got the spa, and yeah.
And you also are looking to train other people. I know you have a room upstairs which you use. It doubles as a yoga treatment room, but also the academy. You want to tell us about the
so the original plan was that the original plan of the building was that I was just going to work there and rent the rooms out to medical professionals and build a training academy. But then as the building developed and my plans sort of changed, and we added the extension and we developed the spa into it. So we've got the yoga studio upstairs, but once a month we will be running masterclasses. Fabulous. So that will range from all different courses, really, ranging from doctors offering Botox, nail technicians with nail courses, lash courses. I also teach permanent makeup. So yeah, we'll be developing this year. We'll be looking to develop the training academy side as well.
Fantastic. I'm really, really pleased. Now, have you done this on your own, Sian?
Up until 2 years ago, yes, everything was all on my own. I started, I was working in a call centre originally, and we'll go into that a bit later, but up until a year ago, it was all on my own. And then my husband is a carpenter.
Yes.
So this was something that I did have help with. The renovation and the building construction is something that I've had help with, but the building of the business itself, the ideas and all the rest of it has been from me.
Yes, but you've had help, but you've not had any outside investment, or it's been a partnership in terms of yourself and your husband.
Yeah.
But really something that's your project that he came alongside with you, and together you did it.
Yeah. So financial help, we've financially it's all been on me, but then he is the carpenter, and then him and his dad have had experience in renovating houses.
Yes.
Which is something that took him out of his comfort zone as well, because this is a commercial building for a start, which is a totally different. It's totally different to renovating just houses. So he took on the construction and he renovated it all.
Fantastic.
But then the pressures then was,
And it is an incredible, ladies and gentlemen, it's an incredible premises. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Right. No, my dear. But that's not the only thing you're doing, is it?
No. So one of the reasons Josh did give up his employment with the council was so that we could go into property development then later on. So the chapel was the first project for us. We've just got another house that we're renovating, and that is going to be the start of a property development company, which is joint for me and my husband then.
Fantastic. Do you mind telling us how old you are, Sian?
35 in February.
Okay, so you're pretty young still.
I don't feel it.
Believe me, you are pretty young still. So the thing is, hearing about all your achievements, Sian, one would think, oh, well, she clearly had, supportive parents. She probably grew up with, people doing stuff for her, born with a gold spoon in her mouth. But that's not the story, is it, Sian?
No, so growing up, I'm one of 6 children, and we grew up in a council estate in Penlan in Swansea. And going to university and having that sort of support was never really an option for us. And I remember leaving school, and all I remember the job I wanted when I was leaving school was to work in boots. That was my goal. And I ended up having my daughter very young, and it forced me then to grow up and be independent. And we were living in a council house, and I was working in a call centre. With Fion being really young, I was on my own from the age of her being 1, and it wasn't easy, and it was never something I ever thought I would achieve or ever focused on. At that point, it was something that was totally out of my reach. And then when Fion was really young, I sort of realised something had to change. I wasn't happy. I was suffering with depression, and I was really struggling mentally. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know where I was going, and I just remember thinking, Sian, you've got to do something here. Nobody's going to come and save you, which is what I was waiting for at one point. And I remember thinking, right, you've got to do something yourself. And I was just thinking what I could do, what I could have access to right now. And I just researched some beauty courses, and I went back to college then when my daughter was about 4. When she was about 4, I went back to college and did some basic beauty courses. And then I was just looking around and looking at what other people were doing on a national scale. And then I just sort of invested in specialist courses. So individual eyelashes, I know right now they're pretty much everywhere, but back then they weren't. There wasn't many people doing it. And that's where I started. I started off doing a small course, and then I added on that, and then I added on that. And then I got to a stage where I was in a position where I could buy the house. So I bought the house.
The same house?
The same house. Yes. And then I built a little conservatory sort of studio at the back of that then, when the mortgage was going through. And then I changed that then into a beauty business. So it went from the kitchen table, offering nails, and then it went into there. And then I realised that I was really good at this, and it was something I was really passionate about. And I decided to leave at the call centre, which is Admiral, to leave there. And at the time, it was really expensive to do permanent makeup. and I had saved enough money for a deposit to move me and my daughter out of the council house and into a new estate, which is something that I was really trying to achieve. And then I crazy decided to invest all of that money into a permanent makeup course, which has then led me to have my own salon, and then it's developed from there then.
Right. So what you did is you drew on your own inner strength.
Yeah.
One of the things I liked it, you said I found myself.
Yes. Yeah, I remember the day that definitely that it just...
Tell us
it
about
just,
that. Yeah.
I remember me and my friend were going to the raft race in Swansea, and she had to lend me £5 to buy a bag of beans and chips for me and Fiona because I couldn't afford to go to the event in Swansea. And I just remember that was why I think I felt at rock bottom. Mm-hmm. And I remember I had to cancel my rent that week. I couldn't afford to pay the rent, and it was just a light bulb moment. It was something I still remember today. It was a light bulb moment that I thought, right, you've got to do something. What is it that I can do? What is it, the small sort of facilities that I had at that time? I just sort of scrambled along thinking what I could do right now that was going to help me make money.
Right. And then what you did is you looked within yourself, and then you looked within your circumstance.
Yeah.
I picked up on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't try to leave that circumstance.
No. Just how I could improve that, improve where I was at that time.
Yes. So, Shah, what would you say to your 14-year-old self? Because I know your daughter is 14 years old now.
Yeah. So comparing where I was at 14 to where my daughter is, I would probably tell me something different to what I would tell my daughter, because we're in a different place. But if I could tell, what I would tell my 14-year-old self is that nobody is better than you and you are good enough. Mm-hmm. That's what I would probably tell myself, because growing up, I've never felt good enough, and coming from a poor background, I always tried to mask that, and I tried to hide that from everybody else of who I was, and that was probably the one thing I would tell myself. And if I was to speak to my 14-year-old daughter now, I would say that you're not better than anybody else.
There you go.
You're not better than anybody else, so nobody's better than you, and you are not better than anybody else.
That's right. That's right. That's incredible, because the thing is, I happen to know what you got your 14-year-old daughter for Christmas. Would you like to share?
So I bought her, partly because she does do her tans very bad and she's looking like an orange all the time. But I bought her I got her a spray tan company basically for Christmas. So we got her business cards, public liability, we've got a spray tan machine, and we've set her up a little area in the garage where she's going to be offering spray tans. So set up a little business for her.
Yes, and I know it seems obvious, but I'd like you to talk me through why you did that.
I would just like her to have responsibility for money. So something I've had to work hard for everything I've got, and I'm very mindful that I'm not passing on some negative lessons to my daughter. I've always been mindful. Me doing what I've done, especially with it being a beauty industry, it's either going to have a very negative effect on Fion, where she needs to feel like she needs to change how she looks, or it can be a positive effect. So I've always been mindful of this, and I want to teach her the value of money, and I want her to, everything that she has in life, she does have to work for. I will support her and guide her, but ultimately she has to do the work. And exactly. This is something...
Because what you said just now brings us to the point of legacy. You said it's about what you want to leave with her. So what legacy would you like to leave, not just to Fion, but also to other young people, other 14-year-olds, other people like yourself now? What would you say you'd like to be your legacy? First, for the people within and around the community.
I would just say that you can do things if you put your mind to it. Yes. And I think one of my favourite quotes is that you don't have to see the whole staircase, you just have to take the first step. That's one of my favourite quotes. And I think you don't have to have big goals or big aspirations. Just like I did, just see what can help you right now, what will make today better, what will make tomorrow better, what will improve that right now, and just sort of chip away at it and work away at, and once you've done that, just really perfect it. If you're going to do something, don't just do it half-heartedly. If you're going to, you have to do it the very, very best you can. You can't have half measures. You just got to do it the best, basically.
So thank you for that, Sian. That's an incredible legacy that you're trying to build. But I am sure that the journey has not been easy. You've had challenges, haven't you?
Yes, lots of challenges, but I think that's what's helped me grow. And without those challenges, then I wouldn't have developed the business to what it is now. So, you know, when I think if I'm completely honest, I winged a lot of it.
Yes.
I started off as a nail technician and I just winged it. And then from going to a beauty salon and running a team and running a business is very, very different. And that comes with a lot of other skill and something I didn't have. And I only realised I didn't have it or I didn't need it until things were going wrong.
Yes.
And I nearly lost all my staff and it was really difficult. So at the point I knew then things weren't, I knew what I needed to do, and that is what I've been focusing on. And when we bought the chapel, it wasn't something I was dead certain was going to work at all. At the point of buying it, I really wasn't running the business very well. Things were going wrong. But I knew in order to get where I needed to be and have the right support, having where I was in the salon wasn't going to give me that. And I knew I needed something bigger in order to get the right manager on board and things. So
you got help in terms of support staff?
Not. I knew I needed help. I knew I needed help, and I knew that a beauty salon wasn't going to give me I was always going to be the biggest part of the business there. So I wanted something where I wasn't the biggest part. So at the point of buying the chapel, it was a massive risk because everything I'd ever earned had to be invested into this. So even though my husband has definitely helped me with the project, he was a carpenter that had to give up his job. So he took a huge risk with me, and we both, it wasn't something that we were comfortable with. And we had to invest everything we do into the chapel. He had to give up his job, and it was really hard. It put our relationship, strained our relationship, because we were working together and learning as we were going. And yeah, we got there, but it wasn't easy.
And from what I can see, because I've been there, you have a great team around you now. So you didn't lose your staff.
No.
And you did get the right support around you, that you were clever enough to do that.
For the first time in my whole career, I've got a team that is on board fully with the business. And yeah, I absolutely adore the team I've built. So yeah.
Yes, it does work like a dream. I've been there, I've seen the efficiency with which you operate, and I've seen the quality of staff that you have.
Yeah,
so
we had to start afresh. From that point, we started afresh. I went to the cosmetic clinic on my own and we built the team back up then. And they're all amazing. I couldn't do it without them.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else you'd like to leave with us? Any nugget?
No, I don't think so.
Repeat for me that one. I really like the one about the staircase.
Yeah, I love this quote. It's, you don't have to see the whole staircase, you just have to take the first step.
Fantastic.
So I didn't vision all of this when I started. This vision was not there. I just knew that my situation had to improve, and I just brainstormed on how I can improve my situation, and it's just to where it is today.
Thank you so much, Sian. Thank
You're
you for
welcome.
sharing. Thank you for opening up. Thank you for being vulnerable. And thank you so much for sharing your life with us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, guys, for listening. And thank you for joining us in our first episode of the filming of the rising star, Sian Batcup. And thank you for joining us on our first episode of Smart Wales Business Channel in the studios at the Media Suite of the Bay Campus, Swansea University. See you next time.